In this video, I bring through a live channeled message from a Pleiadean collective. These Pleiadeans actually share with us what it's like to be a Pleiadean, what the physical or light body is like, and so much more. So I hope you enjoyed this, so stay tuned. Hello and welcome to the Charmed Life YouTube channel. This channel is all about magic, metaphysics, mysticism, and the unconditional love of the universe. I'm your host here. My name is Tricia Carr. I'm a multidimensional medium, empathic channel, animal telepath, hypnotherapist, and spiritual teacher. And I bring to you today some exclusive content from my Mystic Arts Academy from this workshop. Now, I want to also say, if you think this is cool, you want to channel Pleiadeans or hear more channeled messages from Pleiadeans or some other amazing collective or individual energy in the universe, then do please like, subscribe, share, comment. Please do click the little bell so you get notifications about when more videos like this are published. This is from the Mystic Arts Academy. A student asked what it's like for Pleiadeans. Like, what are their bodies like? What is it like to be a Pleiadean? And so I posed that question to this Pleiadean collective who were coming through at the time, and we just let it fly. It's very, very interesting, really, really a wonderful heart attunement. So I hope you enjoy this and, stay tuned, because on the other side, I'll chat with you just a little bit more.
So I'm a little left-brained, and what I really want to know from this guide who has come forward is if Pleiadeans go through the process of losing their physical body and then going up to a higher realm and then choosing to reincarnate. I understand that they're largely a 5D frequency. So there may not be that losing of the body, and they may not even have a body, but I'm just so curious about that.
Okay, let's ask that. Okay, so she says that we have, she says this will probably blow the minds in a sense, but in fact, it's not really that different than the peoples of Earth. But we do have a veritable display of some kind of light bodies. And so, by the way, sweet one, you're a light body as well. Your incarnated, physical, materialized body made of 4 physical elements is a light body. It is crystallized light. And so we have many different, different than the Earth. And whereas your crystallized bodies seem to be more cohesive one to another, but in fact, we see a lot of differences. So as we look at you, I might look at this person and I see that they have more of a solid density body. If we want to put a number on it, say I see as more of a 3D body of this person's light body. But for this one over here, I see something that has a higher density. So to my spiritual vision as looking through, I see that this person's body is actually lighter, if you will, meaning that it has less material to it and that it is holding more light. So if you can imagine that if you were to, perhaps if you're watching one of your films and you saw that, okay, what's coming to mind, what we're showing now is, if any of you saw the film Back to the Future that happened in the 80s, that they showed a picture of the 3 children, and as one of the children was ceasing to ever have existed, playing with timelines here in your reality, that he started to fade. And so it's akin to that, but instead of fading away, there's more light between the spaces and places of the material. So as we look across your planet at the populace of your human beings, we see that. We see the ones who have come in from a 7th density, 6th density, and we see the ones who are just made it up to the 3rd or 4th density. And so their actual whole body of mind, body, spirit, that's what we look at. Because we don't just see the physical body, we see the emotional body too. We see the whole of the spirit, we see the whole. So each looks different than another. And that is what you would see if you looked at us. However, we are starting from more of that 5th density. And some of us are still bringing parts of a 4th density up to a 5th density. And some of us are in some other trans-dimensional or transcendence path. And so we aren't as, we don't have the veil of illusion that has us to focus on the 3D reality, because we don't have the threat of losing the physical form, because we've transcended that illusion that is so very important. It is important, but it isn't the most important thing. Now, having said that, your question, as you want to try to relate to us and understand a reality about how we live, how we work. So some of us would be more in the state of light that doesn't require a death process or a transition process. Some of our existence are in that full light form, where the light, by the way, is material. Light is itself also particles. And so some are of that material so that it doesn't have an expiration as the 3D physical has. Some of us have parts of ourselves that do still transition because, as I said earlier, it is moving from something that is a bit more fourth density, and so it does have a bit more of a dematerialization process. Now, you could also say those ones who are fully light, that they don't exactly have a full transition process, yet with evolution, it's like the sloughing of skin cells. There's always something that is being transmuted, and there's always something that is being transcended. And so that is, in a sense, a kind of micro-death. And that's our perspective now, whereas you may feel on the planet Earth that it's like a big beginning and a big ending. And we honor that so very much, and we appreciate you for going so bravely into that wilderness. And we see that from afar, but that isn't exactly what we are experiencing. We aren't exactly ceasing entire identities at this point. We are seamlessly moving in our evolution. And so we do call some of our parallel realities, and in this case right now, we are calling you, sweet Cristina, as one who is my parallel reality of a human past. And I get to experience you as my ancestor in this moment. And so I send my consciousness with you in this moment, and I am experiencing that past life. And I'm also experiencing the process of transcending and ascending and even dematerializing, as everyone is always in some state there. So that is how we are without the veils of illusion that humans have. And we find it so interesting that you are loose of your veils of illusion, and yet still they are there. And we just find this to be such a remarkable and such a brilliant, and the intelligence one must hold in order to stand in that space of illusion and releasing illusion. How much bravery that is. It is even somewhat easier when you don't remove the veils of illusion. You have to face things like death and loss, thinking that that's the end of it, but you do that anyway too. You do that even though you have the veils lifted for you. So this is a very fascinating and beautiful work that you're doing. So from our perspective, there isn't a full transition of identity. There is bringing online new identities and always adding to the soul complex and releasing from the soul complex, which looks like a sort of incarnation, but it isn't of the flesh perspective as 3D, because we have moved beyond that. But we do have light bodies that are just of different density and have a veritable display of those densities even in our populace. And so to give you a further display, we want to say that it is that our planet and our planetary existences, when we are visited upon planets, that we have different light spectrum. And so in your minds, it may seem that it would be very pastel or very vibrant, and it's simply because your imaginal senses have to do the work to be able to experience the sights, scenes, and sounds and sensations of a physical experience. Physical in quotation marks, because we're talking about our light physicality as opposed to your light physicality. And so the senses are very much online, and yet they are ultra senses. The ones that you experience inside your third eye and inside your imaginal plane, they are our total reality. So we do have more, if you will, for a lack of a better way to say it, more colors than you have, more of the light spectrum. We have more of the sound. We have more of the sense, all of the senses, the senses of smell and taste. And we are capable of consuming, yet it is, for some of us, absolutely unnecessary. It is done only for pleasure. We are capable of physical engagement and affection and sensing the light bodies coalescing one with another, and the pleasure of that, and the love and intimacy of that. And we are also never really without it. It is just something we move deeply into to experience. And so to give you the experience of what it is that we have when we are having planetary inhabitations, it is a plane of light that is more nuanced than what the human planet is experiencing. And yet it's not, because it all exists within your nature as well. And some of what you get to do, instead of having it come through your physical instruments, you get to do it with your feeling instrument. And again, to have oneself limited and yet unlimited at the same time, that is the God essence. And that is a powerful creation. And we say that you are actually creating even more dynamically and more powerfully than we are, because in a sense, you are having the opportunity for exponential growth, whereas we are on a path that is a different momentum and a different frequency. And yet at the same time, you're moving with your intentions are moving with these powerful leaps and bounds. And this is why we come to you to help you, because we've been able to graduate, and so we have a perspective, and we have the tools that you actually own. So we say depend on us because you have the right to have these skills and tools. And so it's not a codependence. It is actually just allowing yourself to receive what it is that is already yours, and the thing that you came here to do, and the skills you came here to exhibit and to show. She just kind of giggled. Oh, I'm far away from the microphone. Could you guys still hear me? Okay. Did that answer your question? Oh, okay, so did they die? So no, they don't die. They don't have to. They just kind of seamlessly bring on energies. Does that make sense?
That was amazing.
Okay.
Oh my God.
It made sense to you, or you could feel it?
Yeah, it was like the answer to life, the universe, and everything.
I want to give a shout out to Cristina Crow, who's the one who is in this video, who offered the question. And she is an amazing intuitive. She is a reader. She is a healer. She is phenomenal. I've worked with her a lot and just find her to be just such a beautiful and amazing light. And it is her question that was the portal that opened up the information that we all received. I don't know how you connected with this, of course, but I feel a lot of attuning energy, and working with Pleiadians, they are tending to bring us codes into our whole mind, body, spirit complex. And so they're very much connected to light language. Later on in this workshop, when it was offered live, I brought through a channeled light language message, and so did one of our other members of the group, gave a channeled message, one that was in English, the spoken language, and then one that was in light language, and it was so cool. So just an invitation for you to check out the Mystic Arts Academy if this interests you. And of course, I would like to invite you to check out my podcast, which has its own exclusive content. And thank you to Cristina and everyone of the Mystic Arts Academy for allowing and even encouraging me to share this, because it seems to be something that a lot of people can connect with. So thank you so much for being here. Please like, subscribe, share, comment, click that little bell to get notifications when we publish videos again. I appreciate you for shining your light on our beautiful world. Thanks for tuning in. I love you, whoever you are.